Okay, everyone, so we're going to move on with question 6. And again, from what I can see here, this looks like 2017. So again, just pause it to find it in your exam papers. Salesman's earning a basic salary of 150 a week. In addition, he gets commission at 20% on sales up to the value of 1,000 a week and 30% commission on any sales above this. Find his total income. So again, you want to look at his basic salary, which is going to be 150 euro. He's going to get 20% of his sales up to 1,000 euros. So plus 20% of his sales up to 1,000 euros. His total sales, it says at the end of the question here, which is important, his total sales amounted to 3,000 euros. So he says he gets 20% on his sales up to 1,000 euros. So that means he doesn't get 20% of 3 grand. He only gets 20% of 1,000 euros. So we can put that in, 20% of 1,000 euros. But then it says, and he gets 30% commission on any sales above this. So if he has made 3 grand in sales, that means he's got 2 grand left over. So that means he's getting 30% on 2,000. And again, just double check your maths that the sales add up. So here's the first set of sales, 1,000. Here's the second set of sales, 2,000. There's his total sales, 3,000 up there. And now it's just a case of pumping in the numbers. So we get 150 plus 20% of 1,000. So that's 0.02 multiplied by 1,000. All of this can be done in the calculator. Plus 0.3. Whoops. Realized I made a mistake there. This should be 0.2. And that one there should be 2,000. Total value then when you add that up is 950 euro. And that's the answer to that. Is 1160. Find his total sales for the week. So let's have a look. Well, his first week, let's call it week 1, was coming in at 950 euro. That's what we figured out in the previous question. His next week, which is a different week, week 2 shall we say, is 1160. So one way you could look at this is see this as an increase of 210 euros. Now, one thing we do know from the previous question, that when he made the 950 euros, that was an increase of 30, or that was based on a 30% commission. So he was already in the 30% bracket when he was at 950. So making 1160, he is still in the 30% commission bracket. So that means this particular value here of 210, this represents a 30% commission. So one of the ways you can do this is writing down 30% equals 210 euros. Now where do we go from here? If this is 30%, we need to find out what 100% is. So to get 1%, it's going to be 210 divided by 30. And then finally to get 100%, it's going to be 210 divided by 30. And that's multiplied by 100. So that your final one there is 100% is equal to 700 euros. So that was his total sales for the week. And that makes sense that if his total sales was 700 euros, then that tallies with what we're seeing here with this number. 16. And this is part C of that question. So John compiled a table showing the amount of water used in his household. And the important part here is over the course of a week. He recorded the number of litres and everything the bath was taken. Okay, so you can see here basically what's happening is the water required for one bath was 80 litres and it was 3 baths per week. So that's what frequency is, how many times it happened. So it's 80 multiplied by 3 and that gives you 240. Same thing here, shower, 125 litres. There was 20 showers during the week. So that gives you a total of 2,500 litres. So that's 240 litres, 2,500 litres, and so on and so forth all the way down. So all the way down, you can get all the numbers. You can check them there with your own numbers. And then the total number of litres used at the end is 3,937 litres. So that's what part 1 is. Part 1 asks you to show you the complete table, so that's done. Part 2, if water was charged at 185 per 1,000 litres. So again, a couple of details here. What they're looking for is it's 185 for every 1,000 litres. Now we actually have a lot more than that. Find what John's household would pay for the water used in 1 year. So as you can see from up in this question here, this says John's weekly household water usage. So that is 3937 litres per week. The question is asking about what's going to happen per year. So if it's 3937 litres per week, well then to get it work it out per year, it's going to be 3937 multiplied by 52 because there's 52 weeks in the year. 4,724. Now again, this is looking to see what would John pay for water used in 1 year. So again, you're talking about money. It's 185 per 1,000 litres. And this number here is 204,724 litres. So to find out it's 185 per 1,000, you're going to have to take this 204,724 and you're going to have to divide it by 1,000. See how many times 1,000 litres goes into it. So of course when you divide it by 1,000, you're going to get 204.724. That's how many times it goes in. And it's 185 per 1,000 litres. So it's this number multiplied by 185. It's €1.85 multiplied by 204.724. And when you multiply that out, that's going to give you a total cost of 378.74. So that's the total pay. Let's have a look at the next question. Part 3. Find John's total bill for this water if VAT were to be included at 13.5%. So again, the cost is 378.74. And we're going to add on VAT at 13.5%. So VAT is equal to 13.5% multiplied by 378.74. And then when you work out what this VAT is, so that means your VAT is equal to this, 51.1299 or 13. So that's your VAT. Then of course you've got to add your VAT on. So these two are added together. And so that gives you a total, including VAT, of 429.87 or thereabouts. Let's move on to part D. John would like to reduce his water bill to €260 per year. If water were charged at 185 plus VAT at 13.5% per 1,000 litres, find the number of litres he could purchase for 260. So the first thing I would do is it is €1.85 plus VAT. And again, the VAT is at 13.5%. So I will go 185 multiplied by 13.5%. And that will give you how much it is, how much the VAT is, and then you can add the VAT on, just like we did. There is an easier way to do it, a second way of doing it. So one of the ways you can do this is if you multiply by 1.135. So this number here is 100% plus 13.5%. So this is the amount, which is 185 plus your VAT. That's what it's represented in percentage terms. This will also get the same number. Either way, whether you do it that way or whether you figure out the VAT by itself and add the VAT on, the number should end up working out to be, so you just tap into the calculator, 2.099, and that's euros. So that's the water cost, including VAT, at 13.5%. Now we're talking about per 1,000 litres. So we've got to find the number of litres of water he could purchase for €260. So what we need to do is take 260 euros and see how many times this water rate will go into it. So if you divide it by 2.099, you want to find out how many times this unit rate will go into 260 euros. This is the money he has. That way he can figure out how many units can he get for the amount of money he's got. So if we do 260 euros divided by 2.09, 8685. Now that's how many times the unit rate goes in. So this is how many times it goes in. But in order to get the amount of litres, you're going to have to multiply by 1000. So multiplying by 1000 is going to give you 123,868. I'm assuming the numbers are right. So that's litres. So here we have got the next question, which is 2016. And this question seems to be question 7. Fiona earns a gross wage of 1,550 every fortnight. She pays income tax, universal social charge and PRSI on these wages. Each fortnight, then Fiona pays income tax at the rate of 20% on the first 1,300 she earns. So this here is going to be your lower rate, and this one here is going to be your upper rate. She's tax credits, so her credits are 126 euros, and that's per fortnight. Find out how much income tax she pays per fortnight. So again, this is per fortnight. Normally you get something per month, but the calculations are going to be exactly the same. The tax, so the lower rate, she's working off 20% of 1,300. Now remember, she's making 1,550. So it's 20% of 1,300, and you go figure out what that is. So that works out at 260 euro. And then she is 40% of what's left over of the remainder up to her 1,550. So that is 40% of 250. And that's going to give you 100 euro. So that total there is 360. Now, this is her total tax, or her gross tax. She also says she has tax credits of 126 euros per fortnight. So you always take away your tax credits in an instance like this. So tax credits then is equal to 126 euros. So you take those away. Plus 3. And so that leaves you 234. And this here is what's called your tax payable. And that's what this question is looking for.